Perfectionism is a hoax, all right? And this is gonna sound a little pain, or no, wait, what is it? Yeah, pain is just fear exiting the body, which I think is a dumb saying a little bit, but whatever. It's gonna be a little like that though, because perfectionism isn't real. I mean, okay, it is, but I've been thinking about it lately, and if you break it down, it's kind of just a fancier word for anxiety. That's all it is. Perfectionism is something I've heard a lot about throughout my life. I think it's something that's pretty common as an issue for people who want to like pursue creative endeavors, especially. I'm sure it pops up in other fields. That's just what like the context that I've heard it the most in is feeling like your work is never good enough, so you nitpick and work on it forever and are reluctant to finally just call it finished. But I heard the other day someone saying that procrastination is just fear. And I feel a little silly that something so simple and obvious had such an impact on me a little bit, but it did make me start kind of deconstructing what perfectionism is to me at the very least. And yeah, nail on the head. Perfectionism really is just a form of procrastination, and procrastination is just a symptom of anxiety. You are anxious about something, so you put off dealing with it, which makes it a bigger and bigger issue, and procrastinating just makes it scarier. As the more you engage with the habit of procrastination, the worse the anxiety and the worse the results are, like the worse the consequences get. Perfectionism is exactly the same. It is a fear of the next part. Procrastination is like a fear or stress or whatever you want to call it about the activity or task or thing itself. Well, perfectionism is not the fear of the thing itself, but the thing that comes after making it. Procrastination is just the fear of the loss of control. Because I operate more in like the creative field, I'm going to stick to talking about it like that because I just frankly don't know what else I would apply it to. The way I realize that procrastination manifests for me at the very least is that the end result, you are only so in control of that in the first place. Whenever you are going from concept to reality, you are always going to sacrifice some amount of what your original vision was, because that's just the like reality of creating. Like the creation process itself is changing what the original idea was. Like it will always change it in some way. And the rare occasion where it goes exactly as you pictured and nothing was sacrificed, those are very rare. Those are kind of like the exception, not the rule. But you still have way more control over what the concept is and how you work on it, the process of the work, the mediums and tools you use, and the end result, as you know, you are still in control of it. It is the last thing you have any control over because the next step is sharing it, and you cannot control how people react. Sharing your work is inviting it to be looked at, to be observed, and for yourself to be observed, to be criticized, and for the thing you made and care a lot about, to hold it out and accept scrutiny of it. And the internet is not, you know, the kindest place these days. We are hypercritical of ourselves and each other, and it is this self-feeding cycle where it's almost impossible to just purely enjoy anything because someone will always come around to try to tear that enjoyment away from you. It's more about cringe culture and the fact that being cringe is a crime. So what do you do to protect yourself from the embarrassment of being called cringe and being berated online for being embarrassing by being inherently yourself? You don't put yourself out there. You create walls, you filter everything through 7 layers of irony, you become incredibly jaded, you just copy other people and you go along with trends. You don't make new stuff because it's so much scarier to push through that and do it anyway. And I don't blame people. I don't blame people for that. I, however, do think that we all need to start coping better, and that includes myself. And the shitty thing is, the only way to escape fear is to run towards it. And that sounds corny as hell, and it's real. It's right. Every time, it's exactly what I need. Anytime I am afraid of something, especially creatively, the moment I start doing it, I'm fine. It's just the idea of it that's scary. The reality is never as bad. Okay, that's relatively speaking. Sometimes it is bad, but it doesn't always have to be. I've been thinking about how to kind of word the feeling of it, and the best thing I can compare it to is I have ADHD, and before I was medicated, I would have this problem where I would realize I had to pee, and I would procrastinate going to the washroom for like hours. I would just get so couch locked, and my executive dysfunction was so bad that I would just put off peeing for like hours at a time until it became incredibly painful. And then eventually I would finally go do it. And it was such a relief, and I felt so stupid. Like, it felt so dumb that I put off something so easy that was not as scary or as big of a deal as my brain made it out to be. That might not be like the most apt metaphor, but I legitimately couldn't think of anything else. This is not an entirely new concept. This is something other people have talked about. This is kind of more me reinforcing that to myself by making something very intentionally imperfect and something I will be forced to edit quickly and put out immediately because I have so many things I want to work on, things I want to do, and really the last thing in my way is myself and my own inability to just film it and post it and accept the fact that I can't control how things go. I can't control how many people watch. Maybe no one watches anything I ever make, and that's gonna bum me out. But it's better that I do it anyway. And maybe a bunch of people watch, and maybe not everybody's nice about it. But I'll develop thicker skin if I just do it anyway. Right now, I have no script. I'm filming on the front camera on low battery in terrible lighting, and it's gonna be fine. No one's gonna show up and like punish me for making a bad thing. And the immediate result of this, most likely, is that very few people see it. And that's okay, because I will get to the point where I can hopefully put out stuff more people see, that I can put more effort into without falling into the perfectionism trap and just storing it on my computer and never posting it. Something I have done in the past. I would love to stop doing that. That would be awesome. I am just a random dude on the internet, but if I was to give any advice, it would be don't let your anxiety bladder prevent you from pissing your ideas onto the world. You'll feel way better once you do. I am just a random person on the internet, but if I was to give any advice, it would be don't let your anxiety bladder prevent you from pissing your ideas onto the world. You will feel so much better once you do it. I'm Monty, also. What's up? I am just a random dude on the internet, but if I was to give any advice, it would be don't let your anxiety bladder prevent you from pissing your ideas onto the world. You will feel so much better once you do it. I'm Monty, by the way. What's up? I am just a random dude on the internet, but if I was to give any advice, it would be don't let your anxiety bladder prevent you from pissing your ideas onto the world. You will feel so much better once you do it. I'm Monty, by the way. What's up?